Living on Vancouver Island might sound like a dream, and in many ways it is. But before you pack up and move, you need to know it's not all ocean views and laid back living. There are some real challenges to island life, especially compared to living on the mainland. So today we're going to talk about the hardest parts of living on Vancouver Island, because it's better that you know now before you move rather than after. Let's start with a large challenge: travel. Unlike the mainland where you can just hop in your car and go anywhere, Vancouver Island is separated by a big body of water, and that means you have to plan ahead. Your main options: BC ferries. They do get expensive and they fill up fast, especially in the summer months, and sometimes they get canceled due to weather. Another option: flights. More convenient but costly, especially last minute. Another option: float planes. Great if you're in a rush, but again, not exactly budget friendly. So if you're someone who needs access to the mainland, whether for work, for family, or travel regularly, this can be a huge adjustment. Secondly, cost of living can be higher than you think. A lot of people think that Vancouver Island is an affordable alternative to the mainland, but in reality, it depends where you live and it depends on your lifestyle. Victoria and some coastal areas have housing prices that can rival some of Vancouver's. Gas, groceries, and general goods are often more expensive because most things have to be brought here to the island. Trades and services can also be pricier and slower because there's less competition. So while some towns offer a lower cost of living, island life isn't always a cheaper alternative. Thirdly, the job market is limited. If you're retired, work remotely, or have a trade that's in demand, you're set. But if you need a corporate job or are looking for a higher paying salary, Vancouver Island might be tough, and you might need to steer your direction back to a large metropolitan city area like Vancouver. There still are some large main industries here, like tourism, the trades, healthcare, education, and logging. But salaries tend to be lower than in Vancouver, or also even in some areas of Alberta. But housing prices, not always lower. So that's why many people bring their jobs with them. Remote work is really a game changer if you want to live here. Fourthly, the weather can surprise you. People hear Vancouver Island and they think mild and beautiful year-round weather. We are the Bahamas of Canada, we've been called, right? And yes, we don't get that 30 below winter weather. But here's what you need to know. It rains a lot. If you're in places like Nanaimo or the Cowichan Valley, expect weeks and months of gray skies. Snow also does happen. Port Alberni, Courtenay, and even Victoria, they can get hit with heavy snowfall. And this can shut things down, and sometimes for days. Typically, the snow doesn't last on the ground too long, but it could last for a week or two, depending on the weather, of course. Humidity and dampness means that if you live in an older home, mold can also be a real concern. So if you're coming from Alberta or the prairies, the winters will feel milder, but they'll be different. It still is winter. There's a lot of gray, a lot of darkness, and a lot of rain. Number 5, healthcare access is a struggle. This is a BC problem. This is a Canada problem, and it is a big deal. Vancouver Island, like most of BC, has a serious shortage of doctors. If you don't have a family doctor, and if you're moving to the province, you won't have a family doctor, finding one is tough, and it can take years and years of being on a waiting list. Walk-in clinics are overloaded. If you need a specialist, expect to wait. This is an issue that is bigger than Vancouver Island, but it is a large issue on Vancouver Island. Number 6, internet and cell service can be problematic, but it depends where you are. If you live in a larger city center, Victoria, Nanaimo, or even some of the small towns, you're likely going to be okay. But if you're moving to a rural area, you can expect some spotty service. And even within the city of Nanaimo, there are some areas which, quite frankly, the cell phone service is terrible. Internet speeds can vary, and not all areas do have fiber optic, but typically there is high-speed internet available. But when you're looking at a home, that's a good question to ask to the seller, what is it like? Or you can also call up a high-speed internet provider, let's say TELUS, and type in that address, have them type it in and say, can you provide me high-speed internet to this address? If you are working remotely and need that super fast internet, it's something that's good to double check on again before you make that purchase and before you make that move. Number 7, island time is real. If you're used to big city convenience, you might get frustrated. Island time's a real thing. Things move a little bit slower here. Contractors can take longer. Businesses close earlier. Even government services can be slower. If you expect things to happen fast, you'll need to adjust your expectations. Number 8, wildlife is a part of your daily life. Vancouver Island is full of incredible wildlife, which really goes towards making this such a special place to live. But it also means that you're sharing your space. Deer will eat your gardens, will eat your flowers. That's why rhododendrons are so popular here. They're deer proof. Raccoons, they're around, they can break into your garbage. Bears and cougars, they can wander into neighborhoods. It's amazing to be so close to nature, but if you're not used to wildlife in your backyard, it can take some getting used to. So is Vancouver Island still the dream destination for you? It absolutely can be, and it is for me. But it's important to go in with realistic expectations. If you have questions about making the move, drop them in the comments or reach out to us. All our contact information is on our website at seizetodaygroup.com.